Great to be on your show, Valerie. Again, I love being on your show, and there's so much to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like a million years has come and gone.
It does. It does. And it feels like every month is like a year right
Oh
now.
my God.
All this election stuff. And I know we talked backstage a little bit about what our philosophies are on, reading in any manner, whether it's through tarot or, using your psychic abilities or, and for everyone to understand that, it is something that you're reading the possibilities of, and it changes. The future isn't a concrete thing except for some major events worldwide. But so anything that we have in our future is just like little branches of a tree shooting out. We could go this way, this way, this way, this way. And at the time you read, you're getting the strongest possibility. But a day later, 2 weeks later, it can change. So it's best to understand that we all are out there doing our best to give people a foundation to look at what's happening in our world and even for ourselves. But it's up to us to manifest what we need to bring forward. And that's really, this is just a tool to guide you in whatever direction seems like the strongest at the time of the reading. What do you think, Melissa?
Oh yeah, we're all participants in our evolutionary journey, and yes, there are certain things that are, as the Jews say, beshirt, which means set in stone, or this is meant to be. This is God's will, or whatever. But then there are other things that are like always forks in the road, like the Two of Wands card in the tarot. Which way should I go? And depending on your decision, that's how your life will go. So it's there's both order and choice and random chaos. All these things are intermixing in our life, and we want it that way. We don't want a life that is just already preordained for us, and there's no growth, because our choices bring on growth and every opportunity. If we fail, that's an opportunity. If we succeeded, that's an opportunity. We think we want to go this way, that's an opportunity to see what this way is like. Maybe we will have an opportunity to go the other way and see what that's like the road less traveled. It's up to us, and working also with our guardians and our spirit guides, if we do that, or our philosophies or our religious beliefs, whatever it is that informs choice. Our life is a myriad opportunity to have choice, to choose. What is the word? To yes, choose at any given time, to be actively and always to be the more empowered we are, the more we are masters of our own fate, the more we can sail our own ship. That is growth, and that's what we're here for. We're not just here to kind of sit back and watch the play. We're part of that, and every choice matters. Everything matters, but we are also given opportunities to rectify our mistakes, or learn from our mistakes, or even the mistakes themselves are extremely informative and important. I don't know if that answers your question, but that's how I see it. So when I'm reading for a person, I want to give them the best kind of macro and micro view of what's going on, so they can make an informed choice. Yeah. Because that's how I see it.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense. Definitely. Yeah. And just, people's power, you don't want to give your power away as you're asking about your future or what's going to happen in the world. You want to keep, sending out there the manifestation that everything is going to be great. You're bringing in wonderful things all over the world and for yourself. So don't get stuck. Even if you got a reading that had some obstacles, just work through them and pull something else, pull what you need. It's there for you to create,
And yeah, and that's why I'm sorry, I talked over you. But that's why I love to introduce people to their guardian angels, because the guardian angels and all the angels we have in our lives, they can work with us. They can help us manifest. They can help guide us to the best outcome. And when you're actively working with your guardians, amazing manifestations can happen. They are able to point you in the direction you need to go, and you're able to receive that. That's what we're always working towards. And that's always a work in progress, because a lot of people ask me, well, how do I communicate with my guardian angels, or how do I hear them? And that's something that we will also we will also benefit from, because as we work on ourselves, and really it's that intuitive voice, the chakra alignment, our ability to take in cosmic information, that's a spiritual journey. That's what people work on for their whole lives, doing yoga or meditation or whatever intuitive or healing work that they do. That is what draws us together with our angels, and always lifting our vibration, lightening our vibration up, so that we can rise to the vibration of the spiritual beings that are helping us. And the more that we do that, the more we get to have a deeper relationship with them. And that is, I think, one of the big tasks or gifts, really, that are opening up to us as we enter into Aquarius, is working as a team, as a spiritual team, not having the archangels just floating up there way above us. And they're here with us. Even the archangels, they're here to serve us, to help humanity. And this is the opportunity, as you work spiritually on yourself, to raise your vibration so you can hear them better. And however you do that, everybody has their own way. So it's exciting, but it starts guiding you even deeper on your path as you work towards that relationship.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. No, well said. I think if we all take that active role and we really connect with our angels and guides, that is when we can really pull in some of those things that we're trying to achieve spiritually. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah.
Anyway,
you guys run all the recovery here with this, having gone through this election insanity.
It is a little PTSD after we, made a lot of predictions. Things were a little hazy there in prediction land, but
and also things are still in play.
Things are still in play.
Yeah, you had asked me backstage about Lauren Boebert, and that election is with Adam Frisch. Mm-hmm. There's such a narrow amount of votes between them that is going to a recount officially, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my question, but you just gave us the answer, so we're good. I do want to see that recount, because do we really want Lauren Boebert in there? I don't think Colorado does, but some of them do, apparently.
Well, it's amazing that it is such a narrow amount, even though, she's an idiot or a buffoon or a fool. I'm going to say that. That's how I feel about her. I mean, come on. But at the same time, she, she really stood for the same thing to the Republicans anyway, I think, as Marjorie Taylor Greene, the testament to Trump and the January 6th insurrection, and that's who she is. So it has a very narrow margin, which shows us even more how much this group of people are getting marginalized, and what all the Secretary of States that were competing against the election deniers, they all won. That really, if you want to know how this election went, our democracy is saved because of that. Whoever has the House. Exactly. Michigan, where I come from, we have a total Democratic House and Senate, and governor, and everything went blue here. Everything went blue. It's fantastic.
You're doing it right. Gretchen Whitmer, yes.
And all women. And then Pennsylvania, just officially their house flipped blue. And there's some wonderful things that happened in this election that we're still not able to assimilate,
Yeah.
I think. What about you? What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right. And I think, as the dust settles, I also think we're going to find some things going more blue as some of the cases settle and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, this my feeling is, and it's one of my questions for you, about there's going to be more working across the aisles, I think, in the House that we haven't seen in a long time, to get some consensus on getting things done. I feel like the GOP knows it has to create a strategy to have a different view, different look to the world, or to the
Well, there's a lot of infighting. There's a lot of chasm, or what's the word, divide amongst the Republicans, because there's the Trump Republicans, but they're not the majority. And I'd love to see like who got in. Like, are there Republicans that are actually going to side with Democrats? Like, or are they going to all walk lockstep like they did before? Is there a possibility with some of these new ones? And I really don't know. I can ask the guys, but just in general, are there defectors? Are there independents that got in? Are there any? Do you know if there's any independent House members that got elected that might walk in?
Offhand, I don't really know. I'm not sure. I'm sure somewhere an independent got in, because it's possible. I haven't looked at it though.
That also, just like when the Democrats had control of the Senate last hour, this session, there's 48 Democrats and 2 independents, and Kamala Harris. That is how we are in control right now. We don't have 50 Democrats, and now for this next cycle we have 50 plus Warnock, if he gets elected, which I believe he's going to be elected. But
totally skipped by him because I always thought he would get elected. But I do want to ask, you feel like he will?
Yeah, I do.
I do
because
too.
well, for a few reasons. One of the reasons he probably was elected this time around is because of does Georgia have a straight ticket? I'm not 100% sure, but if you're like I'm a Democrat, so I would vote just straight Democrat. And like the Republicans liked Kemp, and Kemp was somebody who Trump did not like. He was going to be honest, right? He's still, I think he's still being questioned or whatever for that. Can you give me 11,000?
Can you get me a few votes?
Votes, 11, whatever Trump asked for, and Kemp had some integrity there, so it may be that they rewarded him by voting him back in. But though I don't know, because I've heard some tomfoolery regarding that election, and not Warnock and Abrams, that there was some issue there. So who knows? I don't know how reflective that vote really was. I think on the projection on the Democrats stealing the election, then you got to really look at the Republicans regarding stealing the election, because they do that kind of thing. They have no qualms about it. But that the fact that Walker is not going to draw that population as much as he did before, because who cares? Exactly. And the Democrats already have control of the Senate. I don't know. I think it's a harder road for Walker than, because with Warnock, especially since dumb Trump, he announced his run like that. Like, he's just doesn't understand that he's just, lighting more and more of the fire for Democrats to get out there and get Walker. He just doesn't. I mean, get Warnock in. Doesn't he get it? Like every time they do something horrible, the Republicans, it boosts the momentum behind Warnock. It's just political math. So I do see, knock on wood for the highest good, that senator, but we'll have to see. I've learned my lesson in this election, probably more than any, to you just don't know, and you can predict, and some of your predictions will be correct, but there's other things that come in and it's confusing. Some things I saw so clearly, but maybe I didn't interpret it correctly, or maybe the timing is further off into the future. I do think that, I don't know if you were going to ask me this or not, but I would like to see Florida's elections be audited. I would like to see Texas's and Georgia's, because I don't get it. I don't get why Florida, even with DeSantis being popular, how he could get such a huge majority with reproductive freedom on the line, because it's Florida. And now that we find out that Trump said himself that he helped him in the 2018 election and suppressed votes, what would stop DeSantis from doing the same thing? It worked last time, and these guys have no scruples. So love to see auditing on these elections. I don't know if I believe the results, but that doesn't mean I want an insurrection or a peaceful transference of power. I just am very cynical about what happened.
I think there's a lot of hesitancy to even go down that road because we don't want to look like we're like the Trumper groups.
But I just don't think they really. I guess maybe in Texas, I'm sure there's a lot of pro-Abbott people, but I heard that there were problems with the EMS machines, and that like in El Paso, I heard that, and I may be wrong here, but I heard that Beta lost in El Paso. It doesn't make any sense. That's all.
So let's move on to our questions, because I have so many. But the first one I have is Nancy Pelosi, has announced she's stepping down as, the leader of the House Democrats. Who will be her successor? And
well, we already know that.
Jeffries. Well, Hakeem Jeffries of New York seems to be a front runner for the new. He'll be minority speaker in this instance, but he seems to be the new, possibly chosen one, and I wanted to take a look at that. The other two are Catherine Clark of Massachusetts and Pete Aguilar of California. But Hakeem actually was called for a secret meeting last week. So can we look at that?
What, can you draw cards on that?
I'm going to draw cards.
Yeah. I think yes.
Okay. Let me take a peek at this. Hakeem. Let's see what they say. Let's see what we get. Oh, yes. Yeah. I got the Justice card, Truth. That to me is a strong yes card. I don't see any problem with that. He's certainly favored, because that's the legislature, the law-making side of the,
yeah.
So yeah, I think it's going to work out that way.
I've only seen positive things about Hakeem.
I think he's extremely articulate. He's got a quick mind like Nancy. He's got a lot going for him. He's a very charismatic person. So, I mean, he definitely has that kind of leadership quality. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Hakeem. We'll see, but that's what I would say. Yes.
As we look at it now, and I wanted to take a look at how does it look for the future of the House under the control of the Republicans. And that would be back where I was saying working across aisle. Is there going to be some cooperation, or is it going to be?
Well, I think it's going. The initial part is going to be the struggle for power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there are many, many, many narcissists in there. It's all about ego, and it's not going to be like Trump's influence is just going to like vanish. He's still got, his hardcore like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz and Kevin McCarthy. Isn't he a Trumper?
Yes.
There's a number of them. It's Tom Cotton, right, and etc. The insurrectionists, the people who were responsible for the insurrection, are still there. The insurrectionists think they've taken over, but they're not the majority, I don't think. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of like stupid clown show infighting, and we're going to all just have popcorn and watch it. And people tearing each other apart, and there's the whole Trump versus DeSantis, kind of influence going on. But I think eventually, yes. I have a couple of scenarios. One is that there, but even if, whatever the scenario is, yes, I think there will be working across the aisles. The majority is so slim. I mean, I don't know what it will turn out to be, but it's just a few people, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's potentially people getting arrested and having to step down who were involved in the insurrection or criminal activity like Gaetz, which will diminish. I can't help thinking, and maybe I have to apologize of having skin in the game. I've said this before about myself, that if I'm seeing what I want to see, but I do try to be clear and ask my guides, and just intuitively, I mean, I can almost see it. I feel like we're going to get the House back, and I don't think it's going to be too long because there's so many reasons. One is that the majority is so slim that one death or somebody having to go out for family reasons, or a special election being called. And I wonder, are there special elections coming up? A surprise flip in the count, like a recount that like goes the other way? Because we really don't know right now what the whole count has been, and especially in California. I think there are counts still going on. I mean, thank God that Sarah Palin's competitor won. What's her name?
Amen. I can't think of her name right now, but
yeah, she won. The good one won, and things like that. But I feel like there are still votes coming in, like from overseas, and there's races that were just so close. They did call them, but I don't think the final tallies are in. So that's one thing, we could get surprises there, and maybe, I don't know, maybe this is a part of the stretch, but maybe some Republicans switching to independents or Democrats. There's so much room for play. So it's not like they have 20 or 30 people. There's very few. And I just see the House going back to the Democrats. And I pray on that too, because whether one side or the other, the Democrats are going to get things done. They're going to push forward Biden's agenda, and we have so many things to work on, right? So many bills to pass, and there's potential for so much good, instead of this waste of time talking about Hunter Biden's laptop. That's ridiculous. But the other side of that is that it's just a continued amount of time for people to see just why this country's turning blue. What a waste of time these GOP are, and more and more reason for them to be voted out next time. Well, we did phenomenally well. This election was supposed to just historically be a wipeout for the Republicans. I am so grateful that I took my own advice and did not watch the media, because I had no idea that people were talking about a red wave. That kind of shocked me when I started hearing that, but apparently I guess people were talking about that. People who watched the media must have been terrified that would have been the case. I never saw it because I just never watched it, and I knew what my guides were telling me. and we certainly, we had 8 Democratic governors, newly elected, and oh my God, there's so much brilliant stuff that has gone on that we don't even know yet across the country. Bills that were passed. I think Oregon voted for everybody to have a constitutional right to health care in their state, and many red states voted for the right to protect reproductive freedom. Michigan got it codified into their constitution, and I believe maybe Pennsylvania. A lot of states did. So there's just so much good stuff that happened. I mean, there's problematic stuff for sure. You can't get rid of a cancer that's metastasized like the Trump cancer over 90 years. It's just they tried to corrupt our system on every single level. They're really happy, the GOP, because they had people elected to the school boards. That was their big crown and glory. But even that is problematic. They always seem to shoot themselves in their own foot. Why do they do that? I feel bad about this, just in terms of death. But there was a recent analysis, and like twice as many Republicans died of COVID than Democrats, and this was due to not getting the vaccination. So and we said, we talked about this right before, like, why are they exposing their population to COVID? Like, why do they want to kill their population? What is this about? And I still don't know. But they're destroying themselves, and they're taking themselves out of the evolutionary chain, and we're just kind of watching it happen. And thank God that the Senate held, right? What a wonderful thing. And I just see the house going blue. I'd like to know what other psychics out there say about that too. I don't think it'd be that difficult, just given the amount of the randomness and the amount of people who do leave a house seat. You can afford it if you have like a big majority, but they do not. Very slim. And if I don't know, will Boebert lose or not? I know I told you earlier that I'm kind of predicted out. like like all of this kind of, and watching what was unfolded through it, and seeing the candidates I thought would get in and didn't. But if Boebert, I think she's just like the others. She's gonna be in trouble anyway. She'll be indicted or involved in some kind of criminal investigation. I think Garland is now like going to go full steam ahead.
I hope so. I hope so. I noticed that somebody's complaining about our sound because I must be delayed or you must be delayed because when I speak, your sound goes away, even if you're talking, and even if I'm saying yeah. Then there's a delay with your sound, and it's like you can't hear like 3 words, the next 3 words. But
well, so do you think we can problem solve it where I wait a few seconds to respond?
Yeah, because it seems like I'm trying to keep myself back from commenting because in the middle of your comment, because I don't want to stop the flow of your conversation. Yeah, let's try that because I'm sure it's some kind of delay. It just happens. But anyway, there's going to be some bullying and infighting for what's going to happen in the house. But in the end, there's going to be some, successful working together. But they still have dreams and illusions of having everything go their way, the GOP. But I see that we're going to endure and we're going to overcome obstacles because we have the star of hope at the end of the day. So I think even however long we have to wait, if the House will, through attrition or through whatever happens legally, as far as criminal cases, like against how many people? Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, I can't go down.
There's 30. There's like 30. I talk over you. I'm so sorry.
I'm done. But anyway, now, my next question is, Will now they have took a secret ballot for the GOP did, and they voted Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House. But the actual vote doesn't take place until January 2023. And I wanted to look at the possibility of him. Will he actually be, sworn in and actually be Speaker of the House? I don't know if they get sworn in, but they must.
I'm getting yes.
He will be Speaker. Yeah. I kind of got that just as in my body, that feeling. Let me just pull one card. Mm-hmm. Well, that's not usually a yes card, but let me pull one more. For some reason, I got the King of Swords, which is truth-seeking and assertiveness. So,
well, that also could be the gavel.
Yeah, that might be like the
House majority House Speaker. I think that would be a good card for that.
Okay, that would make sense. So, my next question actually is, will Mitch McConnell retire within the next 2 years? Because don't you think he should?
Oh my God. He's very reptilian energy, like kind of, you know what I mean? Living forever. And not that there's anything wrong with, I love reptiles, but he's like, he wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, you know how like some turtles just like, they live a very long time. Let's see.
That's cute.
Not yet. Because irons in the fire, power, the need to continue to have power. But the guides say eventually, yeah, he will have to retire because of illness. But not yet. We're going to, not yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right. From the cards I just pulled, I've got, he still loves what he does, and he's getting messages from the GOP that, some factions still want him in there. And he hopes that he's going to, continue his projects. He wants to expand what they're doing. Like, he was instrumental in the whole Supreme Court justice stacking stuff. He has the strength card, which is overcoming obstacles and endurance like a turtle. For entertainment purposes only. And he gets the everything's rosy card, and every life is wonderful. So I think you're absolutely right. So my next question is, this is bothering me a little bit, and I hope I can keep my personality out of this and my ego, but will the House choose to investigate Joe Biden and his family? And will the House choose to investigate the DOJ? These are two threats that they've put out there, that if they won some kind of position, over the House.
The problem is, and I'll ask my guys, it's just what I'm going to say. They're not in a strong enough position to really do those things. They're talking about Hunter Biden's laptop, but how many people are really interested in that? How many members of the House, the GOP, really want to do that? There's not that many of them. I just don't see them having they'll have a vote, and no, they're not going to be able to get enough people. It's a lot of resources. It's really stupid. They don't even have a laptop. They have a hard drive that what Giuliani got from Russia or something. That was, and there's so many. What is it called when the line of ownership, or it's not called that, but when so many people have it and then it gets corrupted just because it's not a pure source. So no, if they do, I think it would be a huge, well, maybe we want them to because it's a big detriment to their party. I do not see them impeaching Joe Biden.
Oh
But
no.
I'm going to ask the guys, and you could throw on that too in a minute. So after, I guess so. No, I don't see an impeachment. He's too strong. He's too popular, and it's going to be interesting to see this new group who's come in and where they really lie. A lot of them are not Trump fans at all, and kind of want to pull away from that. Yeah, they vote for DeSantis, but they don't like Trump. So no, my guys are saying no. Even if they talk about it or do some saber rattling, it's not really within their interest. They are going to work across the aisle on some major things, and then they're going to have to deal with the madness in their own party, the division, the QAnon insanity. That's going to take its toll on them. So they won't really be able to come together as a unified body for certain things that are frivolous. I think that's what's going to be the problem. That's what I'm getting right now, anyway.
And I get much the same, though. I get stability and success and opening new doors. They'll just, actually, I think they'll get some work done, actually. There'll be truth and balance, clarity, new ideas. That clarity is really important. And this, I think, is a good indication that, things will be cooperative. I don't know, they'll end up getting there at some point. So that's something good to look forward to. And then I had the question of the Supreme Court justices. Will there be some leaving in the next 2 years?
Oh, we all want to know that, right? Yes. How many, ask my guys, how many justices will leave within the next 2 years? Is that okay to ask? So we're, grain of salt on whatever I say. They say 3.
Ooh.
Then Biden will get to, it's like a take back. Biden will get to put in 3 new justices. Mm-hmm. Clarence Thomas is going to be leaving. He's going to fold under pressure because of Ginny, and his health isn't good. That's what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
Really not good at all. He's got like some like cardiovascular issues, and yeah, it's not good. And then the next one, Amy Coney Barrett, also health issues. I won't go into what they are, but they're going to be serious enough to take her out of, not take her out of life, but take her out of the position she's in as Supreme Court Justice. And then Kavanaugh, because the DOJ is going to really be able to get in there and see what's what with his criming. Yeah, those 3.
That's good. That's a lot. Well, I did get that, people are going to retire because they have to.
Yeah.
And they're going to go on to other opportunities. There's going to be some kind of decision that's hard to make. Probably people telling them, you either do this or, we're going to have to remove you. They're going to try and defend and try and stay where they're at. But at the end of the day, I think my next question is, will Joe Biden expand the number that's on the Supreme Court? And I think he will be able to. I mean, he might not want to, but I think he will. But so will Joe Biden raise the number of court justices in the U.S. Supreme Court over the next 2 years? Because he's going to have to fill those 3 I kind of got two for sure that we're going to leave. The cards, I got the two, but let's see if
Oh,
he's
Justice Roberts. I wonder if he's going to stay. Want to ask about him?
yeah, okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I won't go further than these. Stab in the
Wow.
death.
Yeah.
Not working for him much longer.
That would be 4. Yeah, God bless. Don't want to wish any harm on him, but 4.
Not wishing anything bad on anyone, but
4. Can you imagine 4 progressive justices in there? Oh my God. And I think Biden would. I don't think I think that they'd be more on the progressive side than not. I hope he wouldn't throw a Republican in there, because it doesn't help us out when that happens.
no, it doesn't. I wanted to look at Arizona Senator Kristen Sinema and West Virginia's Joe Manchin and see if they are going to behave themselves for the next 2 years.
Depends on who pays them. That's what I heard. Who's going to buy them?
Which lobbyist or
Yeah.
PAC who is going to shuffle money their way?
It just depends on what is best for them. They really don't care about anything else except for money. Let me see. I think they're going to be the same. It just is going to depend on what's in it for them. That's the decision they'll make, and it could be, we could see it as beneficial or not. It's not going to depend on whether it's good for Democrats or Republicans. And they like to be courted, but of course, if Warnock, and I think he will get elected, they're not going to be as powerful. I think that's really they're going to be the same. They're not going to change as who they are, but they will not be as relevant as they are. That's the answer.
Right. Yeah, I get the same kind of answer as that. They're in it for the money. They like their love relationships with their lobbyists and whoever, but the truth cuts both ways, because there's something fast that'll happen. They'll realize they're a little disillusioned about how much they can influence and please their lobbyists, because it's not working quite so well, because there's somebody who's truth-seeking within that house, the group that is going to kind of stop some of their random behavior that they're paid to do. So
no Warnock. If Warnock gets in, then they're just not that important. I mean, it's not like the Senate's not controlled by the Democrats if he doesn't get in. It's just that we are stronger with 51.
Totally agree with that. Now,
Warnock's a wonderful, wonderful man, and he should be our senator.
Oh gosh, I think he's great.
Our senator, I'm not from Georgia, but he should be a senator. They're all our senators, I guess, with taxpayer dollars.
Well, in going to the Trump org criminal case that just started, Alan Weisselberg just testified that Donald Trump, Don Jr., and Eric didn't know about the tax fraud scheme. Is Weisselberg telling the truth?
No.
Yeah. he would have gotten 15 years if he didn't make an agreement to come and testify for and tell the truth. He said he came, this is his agreement with the, Manhattan DA or New York, DA. But now he's only getting 5 months and some kind of monetary fine. But then he came and lied. Are they going to catch him? Are they going to catch him?
That's a good question. And he's still working for Trump. He still goes into the office. I just read that. He's still actively working for him. Yeah.
Oh, gosh, really?
Allegedly, I read that. What? Let's see. Yes, they're going to catch him.
Oh, I'm getting the chills. Oh,
he's in a lot of trouble.
You really shouldn't be lying when you made an agreement you made an agreement to tell the truth. He's trying to balance the money.
He's going to be hoisted by his own petard.
Thank you.
Whatever that means.
Oh, yeah, I know what it means. Because petards are the little things you stick in the mountain so that you can clamp your clip on it to move to the next position.
Yeah.
By your own petard, it's going to bring you up and do whatever. So, I certainly get he was paid off to keep his self quiet, but things are going to come out because they're passionately after what's going to happen. But he's going to persist to say, "Oh, I was the only one. I'm ashamed. I did it, and it was a tax fraud scheme, but they didn't know about it. They signed all the checks, but didn't know about it." And anyway, let's move.
Well, he's one of the kind of like Quasimodo, one of the few remaining Quasimodo characters in Trump's Hunchback of Washington story. Because he had, and all fascists and these kind of like huge malignant narcissistic characters who are so powerful all have these people who will die for them. Putin has the same, although he keeps on poisoning everybody. I don't know how many he has left. They haven't been he poisoned his mentor from the KGB.
Yeah.
Allegedly, but come on, yeah. I think about 15 now have died that we know of poisoning or falling out of windows or falling off ships. But one of them was his KGB mentor. Yes. What is that about? Okay.
Unbelievable. Oh, my next question though. It's very interesting. What is the fate of Twitter after only a quarter of employees reluctantly chose to stay after Musk's sharp email calling a demand for their commitment for long hours and high intensity work or leave? They had to, within 2 days, click a yes box or a no box, and a whole bunch they would get 3 months severance, and a whole bunch of people left. And he is probably freaking out now. I mean, a whole bunch of mass exodus. What is the fate of Twitter after that?
I will ask my guides and you can draw in a minute. So let me do first though. My guides say that Twitter will stand. They're showing me the Eiffel Tower for some reason. like a tower that will stand, but Musk will leave. It will be bought out by some other company, and it will very quickly actually come back. Musk, I have a private belief about this. So I have to be careful that I don't mix the two with what my guide's saying. What I think, I'll say what I think first, is that Putin and Russia and Saudi Arabia and some other interests paid Musk to go in and destroy Twitter because Twitter's too powerful tool for democracy, for information, for organization. And on top of that, I believe that Trump encouraged Musk to destroy Twitter because Trump's so pissed off at Twitter for not being
Really?
on there. Of course, he wants it to be destroyed. And then the third thing is that Musk didn't want Twitter in the end, and he's wreaking his revenge on being forced to purchase it because he did not want to. He tried to get out of it, and they wouldn't let him. Do you remember?
Yep.
And then that he thought, oh, I'm just going to go in there and destroy it. I don't want it. I don't care. So I think that's the three things that happened, or some, well, maybe not all of them, but a mixture of them or some aspects of them. But now I'll ask my guys, because that's my thoughts. That he wants to destroy Twitter. It's like a Trojan horse. He hates Twitter, and it's been hysterical to be on Twitter because right from the beginning, like everybody just threw him so much shade, and he lost control of it. It was wonderful to see. It was really funny. And it's still there. So my guides say, yes, it's going to be bought out by some other company. Musk is in a lot of trouble because of so many infractions, and the way that he fired he broke employment agreements with his employees. He is up to his eyeballs in debt. This money was given to him by the banks, by foreign companies, dark money. He doesn't have the money. People think he isn't. He's like Trump. All of this is just charade. It's not real. And he went in there with express orders to destroy it. And that was Putin and the Saudis and Trump.
Wow. That coincides with a reading I did with my little group, the Sisters of the Mystic Tarot. We came up with those same things. It looked like he was trying to destroy Twitter. And we were like, what? But we got other investors, people buying him out. Same thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's too big a community, and you have all this advertising. I mean, it's there. Like, why would you just let it? It's a moneymaker if you know how to do it right. So
exactly. And I have to say, I got a kind person. I don't know. I think this is like somebody coming in who tells you sweet words, but that isn't really going to deliver anything. But he was feeling like, I got it. I might as well make the best of it. But in the end, he is going to be betrayed by hoisted by his own petard.
yes. The theme of this video.
This is him, and somebody will come in, and this is Twitter at the end. It will survive somebody is going to come in and invest.
Oh, which reminds me. And can you ask, is our audio better now?
Oh yeah, it is better.
The people out there, anybody can give us.
Only one person, another person said it was never bad for them. So for me,
okay.
I heard the delay myself when I would just say, oh yeah, while you were reading, it would like cut out the sound for you for a little bit for me. But yeah, I think we're good now.
Okay, so the media, what's going to happen to our media? Because this election cycle and leading up to it, I felt we were being completely gaslighted by foreign entities. There was no control. There was no point in time where the media corrected itself. They ran with this red wave garbage, and they freaked out a lot of people. And since Biden's been elected, it's been going more and more to like KGB television or Pravda or something. And then, CNN got bought up by Republican, and all of them except for MSNBC, I think, are in Republican ownership or control. So, and we all know the Republican Party is a Trojan horse for Putin and Saudis. And we can see it so clearly now. This was painful. It was brutal, because how many people don't, how many people know that it's a ruse? A lot of people left the media. I think the mainstream media it breaks my heart that this is where we are, but can it be corrected? So I've asked my guys about this. I've been thinking about this for a long time. I've done several videos on the media, and this problem, I saw it way back. The polls, but we knew the polls were false, but now people are coming out and saying, yeah, these polls were paid for by, the Republican Party, and they were erroneous, but we just went with them. And why was that allowed to happen? But the most important thing is, can we transform the media, and how do we transform the media so that it is a fair reflection, and it focuses on reporting the news as best it can, and not being a tool for a political party? Because if we really knew before the election that it was a much better prognosis for the Democrats, I mean, just by reporting the news, not by faking numbers, etc., how many Democratic House members might have benefited from that to be elected? And I think this is a huge issue. I'd love to see it. It's necessary for our democracy to revamp the media. So that's something I wanted to talk about.
Okay. I just threw some cards myself on, whether we can bring truth back into the media, whether the people reporting, the journalists, will be able to report fairly and, like they used to in the old days.
Yeah.
This is just the facts. Don't put your personality into it. Don't color it with anything. Don't come from one position or the other. Just tell us the actual news.
So then you can have the pundits on, and they can talk. Like, I guess what Meet This Press was supposed to be. But yeah, give us the news.
Yeah, and I got that. It's going to be a long journey to get there, because I really didn't get. I got only 2 swords, which are mental and communication, but they have to make a decision about how they're going to protect it, what's going to happen to start that new journey, and have a new beginning where people can trust the media. There's going to have to be some kind of action within the community of journalists to decide how they're going to affect that, and whatever agency controls that, they need to gain wisdom and take a step back to decide. But there's still money involved. Money is driving everything. That profit that they make from all the people who want to influence.
It's not just the profit, it's the actual ownership. It's the dark money and foreign influence that are creating propaganda, that are we are being gaslighted. What does gaslighting mean? A narrative, false narrative that is being created, that is hoping to influence our democracy.
Exactly.
In this instance, I mean.
Exactly. And I got that, there's a lot of people that are going to be betrayed by people who are stepping up saying, this lobbyist or this agency or this whatever is influencing. They're trying to give us money or whatnot. And I think there's going to be some, the feeling within journalism and news broadcasting, they're going to feel like they don't have the same standing in the community that they used to have, and they're probably going to feel dejected and kind of, it's going to come, and I still haven't gotten to the part where we rehabilitate it. That's a long journey just to get to the point where people are honestly saying, yeah, money's driving this, from ownership of networks, of, newspapers, whatever.
Do you think there's going to be legislation?
That's what
to break up the consortiums.
and you know what? That's a real tricky wicket with our freedom of speech and all, and the freedom of the press. I hope that they'll come up with something legislatively that will not allow for falsehoods to be bandied about like they're truth.
But what about ownership? Like, well, how can we get out? Can we get foreign money out? That's my question too.
Conflict of interest. They would have to create some kind of law that didn't let foreign investors into those kind of. Don't you think?
They should. That's it. That's where I'm going with that. That what I want to see in my mind, like manifestation.
I mean, could we ever get in China and say and run their news?
No, but this has been something that's been set up. I think with this takeover or attempt of our democracy, we don't understand that it's on many different levels. So even with losing the GOP losing the presidency, that doesn't stop the overarching master plan, which was to gain control of our minds, to gain control of our beliefs so that they can try to influence our elections like they did this time. This was intentional, and that particular or those particular actions were allowed by Trump and his government. And Ken Biden and his government not step up, but like put the boundaries up and say, look, we're going to research this, and this foreign money shouldn't be allowed, and we're going to break up the monopolies. We're going to bring back fair and balanced news. That's what I'm thinking. So that has to happen. I'm just saying, it's not. I mean, the journalists are going to feel what they're going to feel, and we have some wonderful journalists. Thank God for independent news outlets, because there's been some amazing reporting, not getting to the mainstream too much, but will that how our media is organized, how it's funded, and the rules that have been made so lax regarding fair and balanced reporting, all of that, I'm really, really hoping that, and I can ask the guys if that's going to happen, but I really hope that becomes a major, major concern, and that's why we need the House back. Do you agree?
I totally agree.
Because otherwise we're not protected, and people have to shield themselves from all this false information, which is extremely painful.
False information is so appalling that these people who don't think for themselves read that stuff and they make it their reality.
Yeah,
like a mantle, they wear it. It's just, they really.
You know what my guys are saying? It's already in the works.
Mm-hmm.
Legislation is already in the works, they say.
Oh.
So it's not but there's very intelligent people in Biden administration. I mean, they see all of this, and more just like Nancy Pelosi, I'm sure, would just step up. She always said all roads lead back to Russia in all of this, and they will do that. They will break up the consortiums. It's going to happen. It's going to be a battle, but it's going to happen. We're going to get our because this gaslighting is it can't be made to stand. I pray that let's all pray for that too, that we get our media back to represent the will of the American people, not the Russians and the Saudis and whomever our enemies are, because really now the media is in the hands of America's enemies. So it's very scary. But saying that, we still did it. We still managed to
say the light wins.
American people, you rock.
The light wins. Yay.
It was important for the rest of the world to see this. So in a way, somebody said that to me about the House, that would be on the silver lining, is that the rest of the world sees that we are a democracy, because they can see that we have a bipartisan government. But I hope that's enough for them, because let's just kind of move on with like the House flipping to the Democrats so we can get work done. That's all I worry about. I don't care. Again, I think I said that initially, but we need to get some legislation passed.
This is what we have the government for, is to create the legislation, pass the bills, and put things into law that we need to make our lives easier and better. And when you come in, when the GOP comes in and says, well, we're going to stonewall everything, like in the first 2 years, what good is that for the American people? Just to
But they don't care about the American people. They don't care. They're really not concerned about us. They're here to they're here on the orders of or under the auspices of our enemies, and to break up our democracy, to cause division, and especially, this is Putin's burning passion, that the American people lose faith in democracy. So he can prove to the world that democracy is not a good option, and autocracy, fascism is the way to go. That's really what he wants, and that's his whole plan has been that. So we have to be aware of that. He loves division, and the GOP are good at it, and that's what they do. They're performance actors. They call us, the Democrats, performance actors, but they are the ultimate performance actors. Yeah, that's why Putin put in so many clowns into power. That's why he did that. It was not just a mistake that Trump is a clown. Of course, he wanted a clown.
Oh, well, on another subject, I wanted to go back to address running away from home. When we were talking in the beginning of our show about connecting with our angels and guides, and how important it was spiritually to have that connection, and how we bring that connection to us, because running away from home says, I'm flying blind. I don't feel any guides. I feel I'm doing the best I can on my own. And that's totally okay. Your guides are always with you, and your angels are always with you, even if you haven't reached out and you can't feel them. You can still talk to them. You can still ask your angels and guides to help you. You don't have to hear them. Sometimes it's just a thought in your head. Sometimes it's a vision. But Melissa, do you have any exercises or meditations, or what's your...
Well, I think it's very individualized. When I do my readings, everybody's different in terms of what I'm going to tell them. But, of course, meditation, chakra alignment, having quiet, lifting your vibration, listening to your heart, listening to your intuition, going by your faith is what I can tell you. There are many different ways to hear them. Yeah, it's a complicated question, but they're there. So we can both say they're with you. But get some meditation, get some quiet, go inwards.
And when you do that, remember, see white light coming down through your crown chakra and down into all the way through your body and out your feet into Mother Earth. See that white light filling you, and pull the emerald green light of Mother Earth up through your crown, that healing light, and ask for protection while you open up. And call your guides forward. And I do like Sterling. He came up with one really quick way. It's like a 2-week exercise. Ask your guides like one question a day. Give yourself 5 minutes for them to answer. You don't have to be in meditation. You don't even have to close your eyes. You just ask a question and sit quietly for the answer. Sometimes it comes then or later, but you will eventually get an answer. And you do this for like 2 weeks to strengthen that muscle, that connection.
Oh, that's a lovely exercise. And then I always, suggest oracle cards.
And
because you just,
they can talk to you in many different ways.
Yeah, tarot. Yeah. That's a great way to start that relationship.
Yes.
Well, I have to go in a minute. But this has been wonderful. Thank you so much
Okay.
for
Well,
inviting me.
I'm so
Uh,
glad to have you on, and I always enjoy it so much. And I know this has been a tough time after the election cycle. Yeah.
we need to recoup and regenerate and get into the holiday festivities.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that's for all of us. Yeah, but
Thank
we
you.
did it. We did
Yeah.
it. We
Yeah.
saved democracy, people.
Yes, we did. We did it, and we should be very, very, very relieved and thankful, and keep doing what we're doing because we're doing something right. Thank you so much for coming on my show, and I love you all out there, all our subscribers. Like and subscribe, Melissa Free Range Psychic.
Yes,
And
my email is sacredfirepsychicreadings@gmail.com. My phone number is 734-773-9758. Texting is best. Calls I might take a little time to get back to, but I immediately respond to a texter. You can also like my Facebook page, which is Sacred Fire Psychic Readings. So yeah, that's it. And I Melissa Free Range Psychic is my YouTube channel, and I see you every Sunday.
awesome. Thank you
Okay.
so much. So we'll say goodbye to everyone. Thank you for
Bye
coming
bye.
in the chat, everyone, and whoever watches on the replay.
Take care. Bye bye.